Yo, let's talk about the Incarnons of the week. Steel Path, Circuit. Here we go. Torid, dual Toxocyst, dual Ichor, Mitre, and Atomos. I think the worst choice you can make this week is probably the Atomos. Let's start. Torid. It's probably the only long-range beam weapon in the game, and it works fairly well with Hunter munitions. Beam weapons usually don't work pretty well with Hunter munitions. There's a bunch of stuff going on, but they just don't. They're not the best weapon type for Hunter munitions, but this one works fairly well, and you're gonna hit enemies from about the 40 or so meters, and it chains from enemy to enemy. You can hit up to maybe 5 to 7 targets depending on how they're positioned, so it's pretty freaking effective. Probably one of the best Incarnons ever. Dual Toxocyst Incarnon, a simple way to put it is that it is a slightly better version of the Lado. It is a Lado Incarnon on full auto mode when it becomes Incarnon, and you get also a buff when you hit the headshots. It just loses a bit on the accuracy, but it's pretty freaking good. Dual Ichor already brought this weapon to the channel a couple times, and it is pretty interesting. There are a couple builds you can make, especially against Infested, to make stuff that really gets really crazy good. You can look it on the channel, leave the links in the description too. But it's pretty freaking good. A really good melee Incarnon weapon. For the Mitre, when we're talking about enemies that are susceptible to status effects, this might be the strongest weapon in the game. It deals a crap ton of slash damage, crap ton of heat damage, and the projectiles can hit the same enemy multiple times without having to go through any other enemy or any special gimmick. That's how it goes. You're turning a saw into a homing saw, energy blades, something like that. It bounces. You know that I say this every time. If it bounces, it's good. It's probably good. That rule hasn't failed me yet, and this one is another one to prove that. If you get a mag bubble or a void proc, you'll see this thing doing nasty damage. I've taken this to level cap. Video be on the comments too, and it's pretty freaking good. It feels really good to use, and that's it. The Atomos is definitely a good buff to the primary fire because of the perks. As for the secondary fire, isn't anything too crazy. It's probably gonna work against unarmored targets, but against armored targets, best thing you can do is probably to use some corrosive and heat. But it won't be anything too amazing. It won't be anything too crazy. Yeah. It's really nothing too crazy. If I were to go, the sequence for me would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's my choice. Leave it a like, subscribe, and peace.